All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Achakudash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops. A great millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. This is edifying to the Lord's elect. Let's see what's going on in the news. It says, top stories. Iran war. What is happening on day 9 of U.S.-Israel attacks? So today's day 9. Okay, and I noticed that he changed the clocks today. So, you know, that's Esau for you, man. Changing the times and the seasons. As a matter of fact, let's start right there. He changes the times and the seasons, KJV. Daniel chapter 2. Let's start right there. Day number 9. He's already changing the times. Going to war with the Iranians. All right, still going on, man. Gas prices going up. They said in Southern Cal, but you could expect about $8 a gallon. That's a lot of money. $8 a gallon for gas. How you doing, my man? You have a blessed day too. Okay. That's a lot of money for Southern California. This Jake's going to work. Going to work too. Right now, serving the Lord. Fix cars. This is Daniel, chapter 2. I'll start at the top. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. And that's his craziest part, because, you know, just a couple of days ago, the duck had a bunch of people around him putting hands on him. He was explaining how he's not going to make it to heaven and all of these things, and, you know. But that's what they consult. They consult magicians, astrologers. That's what the heathen consult. You know. I wouldn't be surprised if he probably ain't getting good sleep, man. Lord's probably plaguing him with all types of visions and dreams. He understands that what he's doing ain't right, you know, but he still gotta durst fight, like the Lord said. Even though it might not seem like this is what you should be doing, he's doing it anyways. Even when the Lord comes, so he's probably got dreams of fighting the Lord in his mind. Oh man, I gotta fight. I was shy. Oh man, that's a horrible thing, man. I'm over here scared I might get put to death because of past transgressions and sins. I'm trying to make my calling and election sure. And this nigga actually gonna go fight against the Lord. I don't know how that must be. The Lord must be tormenting him, just like King Nebuchadnezzar. Esau is the modern day king of Babylon. Daniel chapter 2 verse 3, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. So he said, if you don't interpret this dream, I'm going to chop you to pieces, and I'm going to pretty much turn your house into a dunghill. Okay? You're going to destroy it, pretty much. All right? So he really wanted to know what's going on with his dreams. And that's why we know this word is terrifying the elite, because the fact that some measly so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are waking up to their nationality, that's a sign of his fall, just in a nutshell right there. That's the beginning of the end. When the Lord came on the scene with this gospel, this is what really caused that kindling. I was looking into that, Luke 12 verse 49 last night. I thought the kindling would be these wars kicking off right now, everyone fighting up against each other, and, you know, inflation and all of that. But it's really the word of the Lord. It's increasing. It started with him, and then it just kept multiplying all the way to the point where it is today. So the kindling then already happened, and now we're starting to see the fruits of his words actually be manifested. So I can see these kings feeling the same way as Nebuchadnezzar felt when his dreams were being interpreted. And he said he went to the Chaldeans. Now the Chaldeans were a bunch of magicians. Let's look at a word. Who are the Chaldeans in Daniel, the 2nd chapter? It's the Chaldeans. Chaldeans. Stupid ass. Chaldeans are a specialized elite class of Babylonian wise men. So the elite class that you see today would be the Amalek. You know, you read Genesis, the 36th chapter, it goes into Esau's lineage, and when you look into his lineage, Amalek was born to Eliphaz through a concubine. Typically, when you're born to a concubine, you get less inherited rights. You're a lower class heir of what's inherited. You're still an Edomite, but you're not really. So you're like second class. But look at this nigga. This nigga runs everything, man. He's telling, in all actuality, you Edomites, you American Edomites, supposed to be in the stead of where the so-called small hats at. You're supposed to be running shit. He's supposed to be a low level. He's supposed to be like a trailer trash of your nation, but he's above you. That shows you that the Lord hates Esau that much that he raised his grandson Amalek over him, and that's why you look at him. That's just a disgrace. He got more of your blessing than you do. You know, so you got to look these things up and see, like, it's kind of fucked up on Esau's side, but he don't even know that yet. He's still proud about you. He don't even know he's blessed right now. Foolishness. Let's finish. So they're the modern day Chaldeans, Amalek. Wise men, astrologers, and magicians serving in King Nebuchadnezzar's court. So they're the magicians, the elite wise men. Okay, those are your technocrats that you see today. Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, these are fools, okay? But that's who they put in front of you to make you think these are the wise men. They're not the wise men, they're puppets. You can look at Elon Musk in his face and see that he got a lot of issues, man. He probably takes a lot of medication. You know, he got like all types of autism and like he's out of his damn mind. That's what Esau likes to glorify. He likes to, if you're autism, that's great. That means you're smarter than others. You know, if you got all these mental disabilities, that's great. That's why y'all act like, like a damn, like, you know how y'all act, man. Y'all act like acting stupid, but in a smart way. You think, you all get around and say stupid, corny jokes. You think acting like that is what's smart, but it's really, that's Esau. That's Esau being an idiot. The only reason he's in any form of power is because he stole everything from everybody else. All right, and there's a system in place to kind of get him through a little bit better than y'all so-called Negroes. Like, not even a little bit, a lot better. You get out, mama and daddy pay for school and everything. That's not happening with y'all, because it's all based on what he raped, robbed, and murdered from your ancestors. So he's actually taking your he's operating in what your inheritance. He's literally in your land today, claiming to be you. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2. As a matter of fact, did I finish this? They were renowned for studying astronomy, interpreting omens, and in this context, failing to reveal and interpret the king's dream, exposing their limitations compared to God's wisdom. That's right, exposing their limitations, because the right-hand side is stronger than the left, So that's why the Lord's going to show you that his wisdom is foolish. It tells you the knowledge of wickedness is not knowledge, something like that. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. KJV, Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 19, verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. That's not what I'm looking for. Ecclesiasticus 19, verse 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. So the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. And that's what Esau operates in. Okay? All this sacrificing shit that you're hearing about, all this astrology shit. We just had a blood moon earlier this year. I think a couple days ago, as a matter of fact. So he'll use that and try to implement policies, go to war with other nations. It's all based on astrology and all of this bullshit that he sees with the stars and shit. It's all based on astrology and all of that stuff. That's why he got NASA. He got all these major. These are who divines to him. They tell him, listen, it's gonna be a winter solstice. We're about 33 this and 66 that. It's time. Yeah, you can bomb them, and they're giving them that counsel. And he got a bunch of warlocks and witches around him, all to protect him from his lies and all this. But it's so much. It's like it's still he can't hide it. The light's too bright for him to hide in the darkness. That shows you that we're more powerful than him, and we're not even doing anything. We're standing on a street corner using a cell phone, and he's being destroyed. So it shows you the knowledge of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, how it works. He confounds the wise with the foolish things of the world. Daniel chapter 2 and verse number 5. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. But if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation thereof it. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, because ye see the things is gone from me. But if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you. For ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asks such things at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. So they couldn't answer it. How are we're astrologers and magicians? You want us to answer a dream that you had? That's a pretty large request, But this is what our forefathers. This is where we master it. Okay, I'm thinking of a precept in Genesis, I believe it's 49 and 10. Let me see what I get. Not 49 and 10, that's definitely not it. But Joseph said, maybe 48. Joseph was given the ability to interpret dreams. I can't find it. I want to look for it there. Genesis, where Joseph was given the ability to interpret dreams, KJV. That is not how you quote that at all. It's Genesis 40. He says it. There's a precept. Genesis 40. I can't think of the precept, but the Lord pretty much gives you the power to. It's in Genesis. I can perfectly paraphrase it too. But He gives you the power so you can interpret dreams. These are things that because the Lord gives you that ability. All wisdom comes from the Lord. Okay. Daniel chapter 2 and 11. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other that can show it before the king, except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh. So lowercase g, except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh. That's the only ones that can interpret your dreams. That's too high for our pay grade. And now you want to put us to death and turn our houses into a dunghill because you woke up from a bad dream. But it was compelled in the spirit to get to know these things, man. All right? That's how you know it was the Lord sending them that dream. That's why I know He putting these dreams on these other kings, and they can sleep, but I don't think they can sleep. It says they can't sleep unless they cause something to fall, but they're causing many people to fall, and now they're ramping it up. It's going on day 9. So they got to work extra hard just to get some sleep. Before they could just kill a Jake. Oh, I'm good. They get a reaction from all the people. They sit back and they're fine. Now they need more than that. I wouldn't be surprised if they bomb themselves over here. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 12. For this cause the king was angry and very furious and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. So that's the spirit right there, because every time these Edomites get mad at something, just like Charlie Kirk when he got put to death, all these they try to use that. They try to call, a lot of death threats were getting put over to the NCAA schools or the HBCUs. Every time they get mad, they want to take it out on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's what he did with Iran. I mean, when he went with the Persians, back when he had beef with Antiochus Epiphanes IV. He wanted to go to Persia first, and then come and fight us, and because the Persians fucked them up then. Then, you know, when you go back to Antiochus Epiphanes, when he first took over the Seleucid Empire, he went into Egypt, and on his way back, he did a great slaughter in Jerusalem. We didn't do anything to him. He just took it out on the children of Israel. Now, it's because his astrologers and magicians and his Chaldeans, his elite wise men, can't tell him their interpretation of the dream. He wants to go take it out. What Daniel got to do with that? That's your own people. Daniel's in captivity under the Babylonians. What you going to grab Daniel for? I'm just showing you the spirit of Nebuchadnezzar and the spirit of Esau. It's the same type of spirit. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 14. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? And Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. See, that sounds like someone that's, Daniel's a young man, but it sounds like he's that wisdom shows you that he's a lot smarter. To go around and kill everybody, all the wise men in your kingdom, that's not smart. That's foolish. So after you kill all the wise men, what counsel are you going to rely on? So Daniel's like, hold on, let me go speak to him. Let me calm him down. He's in his emotions right now. Let me talk to him. This is childish, man. This shows you all you heathen are alike. You're not the firstborn. Israel is. Let me grab this in Exodus 4, verse 22. Exodus chapter 4, verse number 22. It says, and thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. So Israel is my firstborn. Okay? So being the first spirits created, that's why they're much wiser than the rest of you nations when it comes to spiritual discernment and things like that. That's why Amalek don't feel bad about putting y'all to death, because your wisdom should be making you navigate the snare that he's putting in front of you. But if you ain't got any wisdom, you're going to fall into the trap. We're spiritual men. That's why, pretty much when you get put to death, they say you pretty much did it to yourself. The Lord's not dealing with you. You must have been wicked as hell. And in some cases, that's true. Because if you were operating under the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord would give you discernment. You wouldn't be fucking with these people. You damn sure wouldn't think he's your friend. That's definitely not the case. Let's look at Daniel chapter 2. In verse number 16, then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, who are also Israelites. All right, he didn't go consult with the heathen. Hey, listen, you know, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream, and what do you think? You know him better than me. He consulted with other men of the Lord, and because that's who the Lord's dealing with. All right, other men who were true to the Lord. I mean, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were ready to go in the fire with the Lord. But Daniel didn't consult with some two-third Babylonian who wanted to get comfortable in Babylon. He went and consulted with the men of the Lord. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 18. That they would desire mercies of the God of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. So they would desire mercies of the God of heaven. And that's what we're desiring too. Okay, they didn't go anywhere. They sought the Lord for that information. Daniel chapter 2, verse 19. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. So it was revealed to him in a night vision. It's giving me a precept for Numbers 12, but I'm still trying to think of that precept in Genesis. Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. And he said, hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. Oh, Genesis 46 and 2. Right? That's the precept. Genesis 46 and 2. Let me grab that. Genesis 46 and 2. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, here am I. That's not what I'm looking for, but he did speak to Jake too. He did speak to Jake. I know if I type in visions, I can find it. That's the only word I can think of in the precept. Let me grab it real quick. Vision. Okay. Visions. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's the same precepts. That's going to be at me all day. Let me read that again. Daniel 2, verse 19. There was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. That's right. Wisdom and might are his. And why did he give that interpretation to Daniel? Because he was dealing with Daniel. Just like it says, man, the Lord's not dealing with everybody. Psalms 113 and 2. Blessed be the name of the Lord from his time forth and forevermore. So that's the precept he gave me. But the Lord's not dealing with everybody. If the Lord was dealing with everybody, when he requested to get his answers, he would have got it. Nebuchadnezzar, that's not what happened. But in this world, people think, all right, the Lord's dealing with me directly. No, he's not. Yeah, he talks to me. Oh, no, he doesn't. You don't even know his word. That's a clear token he ain't dealing with you. You don't even know his name. You're praying to a white God that don't even exist. There's only one God up there, man. All right? And it ain't Esau. Esau is down here on the earth. That's as far as he's going. Daniel chapter 2 and verse number 21. And he changed the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. And that's right. That's really the Lord. I was thinking of another precept that's talking about Esau changing the times and the seasons. Like he just pushes the clock back or forward an hour. I don't even remember. I think he pushed it forward an hour. And I think that it really messes with your sleep. You know, he throws you off. We're really supposed to be aligned with the sun. There's 12 hours in the day. When the sun gets up, it's 6 o'clock. That's sunrise. All right. 6 6 hours later, you get noontime. That's when the sun's at its highest. And then when it turns night, 12-hour day, that's it. And then you're supposed to be in the crib. You're supposed to be up when the sun comes up. That's why it's better to just align yourself with the sun. This nigga Esau's tech will fuck your whole sleep pattern up. It's better just to consistently just get up with the sun. All right, that's how you avoid the nonsense that this system puts on your body. It tricks your mind, and it really, a lot of people, I think it has an effect on old people. It puts a lot of old people to death. This daylight savings kill old people. It says daylight savings does not directly kill, but the spring transition causes a well-documented temporary increase in health risks for vulnerable populations, including the elderly, due to disrupted sleep and circadian rhythms. What's that mean? Just give me a bunch of songs and shit. Circadian rhythms are natural, internal, 24-hour cycles regulating physical, mental, and behavioral changes. Most notably, the sleep-wake cycle in response to light and dark, driven by the brain's master clock, suprachiasmatic nucleus. They govern essential functions like hormone release, body temperature, and digestion. So this nigga Esau, he's at war with you, man. He knows why he's doing this shit. That's why it's important we get back to the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We stay focused on the sun. We get up with that. We get the 12 hours the Lord gives everybody. Try to get your work done within that 12 hours. It'd be best if you can get up first thing in the morning and go serve the Lord, but that's a difficult task. You know, you gotta go to sleep pretty early. But we all somewhat struggling with sleep because there's no rest here. If you're up late, too late, that should have fucked up your next day. You really should be aligned with the rotation of the sun. Anyways, it has an effect on you. It doesn't. He ain't gonna tell you, yeah, I put elderly people to death like that. That's what happens. It's not probably the main cause, but it throws everything else off. All right. Daniel chapter 2. Oh, Daniel 7:25. That's something I'm looking for. Daniel 7. Verse number 25, it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. And this is talking about Esau. He's speaking great words against the Most High because he's claiming to be the nation of Israel. He's claiming to be a Christian. He's full of shit. All right, he don't keep any of these laws. I see Christians, they walking around, hey, come to our church, passing out pamphlets and shit, standing on corners. They ain't really doing, they ain't teaching the word. They ain't talking about Israel. They putting themselves before Israel. Like, who the hell are you? Like, you can just make yourself a son of God. You know? Like, you can't, that's not how it works. People talk about spiritual Israelites. That's going off too. So when you say a spiritual Israelite, you basically pretty much saying, so you could be a spiritual Edomite. You could be a spiritual Moabite. You could go be whatever spirit you want to be. That's the mindset of Esau. He's confused, man. He thinks he can be a woman if he just says so. Nah, it don't work like that. Or a woman can be a male if I just think it and believe in it, then it's true. No, that's not how it works. That's how Edomites think. So they don't have to take any accountability for their actions. They're perverse people. All right? But, you know, a spiritual Israelite, because it tells you in Romans, let me just jump over here, side note, side lesson. Romans chapter 8. I mean, I don't know where they're getting it from, but I'm thinking this is the closest thing that you can say talking about spiritual Israel. Romans 8 and verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. They be like, see? Spiritual Israelites. Spiritual Israelism. We're adopted. They'll go into Romans the 11th chapter. Not understanding there's a precept in Jeremiah the 11th chapter showing you who the olive branches are, that they're Israelites. Because they don't understand precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. They're trying to find any slither to get into this thing, and it ain't working. It ain't gonna work. They might work with the undesirables. Okay, it ain't gonna work with the men of the Lord. They understand. They search the scriptures daily. This is not a Sunday thing. A lot of people going to church today. Sunday, let me go serve God, man. That's not how it works. This is an everyday thing. The battle's every single day. It really is no break from Esau attacking you. He don't take no breaks. So the reason why the Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God is because we resonate with the scriptures. I mean, all the way to the point where we're showing our faith by our works. These heathen, they're not doing that. They're not out here on the highways and hedges waking up the children of Israel to bring them back to the Father. That's not what Christianity is about. Christianity is about themselves in the church. They're making Babylon great. Like, that's not what this is about. All right. Christianity is about being a damn pagan demon. Being a superficial, on the outside you act all nice and shit, but you're a full-blown demon. And then you build temples all over the place in other people's neighborhoods and turn them into demons. So that shit's a wrap. That shit needs to be destroyed, dismantled. And it is through this word. When they come up, they really don't understand the scriptures like that. They're getting better though. And definitely Christians are stepping their game up because of the men of the Lord. There's just some undeniable truths that they had to get around, but now they're trying to find new ways of messing the scriptures up. But the more and more they do that, the more they just cutting themselves through the Spirit. So what that's saying is, we resonate with Deuteronomy the 28th chapter with all the curses that the nation of Israel had to go through. When did all you Christians go on slave ships? When did that happen to your people? When did your kingdom get split into two and never been brought back together back into their land? You just insert yourself. Even the doctrine that you got, even the small hats tell you you're gonna be slaves in their kingdom. He said if he got one dude say, if I got a house, I was listening to a small hat do his talk his shit, man. It's kind of funny. He said, I'm Jacob, but if I need somebody to clean something in my house, I'm the master of the house. And if I need something clean, I'll go grab one of you Christians. And that's how Amalek thinks about y'all. That's why when you go to Israel, he starts spitting on the ground. He hates y'all. And he hates your Lord the most. He you go to the Judaica Encyclopedia, he says that Jesus is he's boiling in excrement, something like that. Why would he put that in there? So that just goes to show you how he feels about your Jesus. Well, he hates Yahweh Shai too, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But Yahweh Shai is not for y'all. Y'all ain't supposed to like Yahweh Shai. You're not supposed to like the Bible. You shouldn't want any divine retribution for the actions that you committed down here on the earth. You would want to. Your whole goal is to continue to rule in wickedness. That's it. Not to be forgiven for it. Nobody need to forgive you for what you did. No, we're going to wait to see if the Lord is true. And he's going to show you he is. You're his victim. You're his prey. All right? And that's what we're waiting for. But anyways, so there's no spiritual Israelites. Let me finish this. Romans 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. So we're going to be glorified with him because we're suffering with him. How are y'all suffering? These 501, you don't see anybody that runs a whole church really suffering like that. It's always the congregation that's suffering more than him. So that's just another mechanism that they use to dig into your pockets. They go into other countries too and teach that same bullshit in other people's lands. And they actually allow that bullshit in there. The press is coming in talking about God loves everybody. And he'll set up a whole foundation in your country and start kidnapping your kids. He'll use the church to do it too. He'll use a school. He'll use a hospital. Whatever it is. That's why you ain't supposed to trust this nigga. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. And he's speaking great words against the Most High. Just saying, let's make America great again. Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to establish a kingdom on rape, rob, and murder and think the Lord blessed this place? How did the Lord bless that? There's a kingdom in the Bible that's going to be destroyed. That takes peace away from the earth. All right? That fills the rest of the world with all these abominations. He makes everyone drink the cup of his abominations. Hey, you be a homosexual, you too, and you, we'll pay you. Here's some money. He pays Israelite men to forsake themselves and condemn themselves for a little bit of money. Who's doing that? Who's paying for these things to happen? That's Esau. All right, he's a condemned person. He's condemned. He's a curse. He was created to be destroyed by the Heavenly Father and His Son. That's who the Lord's going to use to show His power. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. The saints of the Most High are the Israelite men. Okay. The saints are the Israelites. Okay. According to Psalms 50:5. Those who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Only the Israelites did that. None of you heathen made a covenant with the Heavenly Father by sacrifice on Mount Sinai. That was only the nation of Israel that he made a covenant with. All right. So he wore out the saints of the Most High by putting us in slavery. To the point where you don't even want to say you're an Israelite. You're scared to be an Israelite. You don't want to fight. You don't want to be who you are. You want to be black. You're like that dude from the Matrix that was eating the steak. I forgot his name. But as a matter of fact, let's find out his name. Who's the guy in the movie The Matrix that was eating the steak? He wanted to go back into the Matrix. Let's see if we can figure that out. What was his name? Cypher. It says Joe Pantoliano. Show you a picture. This man, that's Cypher, man. That's what a lot of you Jakes are like. Nah, I don't want to know who I am. Just put me back in the Matrix. Yeah, I don't want to know. Nah, man, I want to be somewhere laid up, not knowing shit. But then you had everybody who had the red pill. They were actually operating in truth. They were eating slop. They were going to war. But look, Neo had spiritual power though, even outside of the Matrix. So Neo was an Israelite. That only belongs to Israel. Even Trinity. These are representations of Israelites. That's their blessing. We don't need these carnal things to get power. That's hence being the children of God. We're going to see who the children of God are in these last days. Let me grab this in the book of Romans again, Romans 8. And verse number verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of God. So the earnest expectation of the creature is everything that's created. So their earnest expectation, their most, what they hope for the most is the manifestation of the sons of God. So the trees, the ground, the earth, everything, the air, the earth, the land, the sea creatures, the bugs, the birds, the dirt, everything, okay, is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. Now they already starting to be manifest, but it's going to be evident when they start doing things with power. Okay, like it tells you in the book of Psalms 110. Then we're going to see who was who. If you see a so-called Chinese man running up walls and doing high kicks and beating up troops, that's an Israelite. If you see a so-called white man flying through the air with a cape on and an S on his chest, that's an Israelite. If you see a man running so fast at the speed of light and he's, you know, he looks Filipino, that's an Israelite. All right, it don't matter if what he looks like. It's just made manifest that that's the Lord's one of his sons. It's going to be evident when we get in the kingdom that we're way above you, physically, spiritually, everything. We're special people, like the Lord told us in Deuteronomy the 7th chapter. Now, because of our disobedience, we're on this low level. We're asking to be glorified like we were in the beginning, just like his son was saying to him in, I believe, John 17. Glorify thou me as in the beginning. That's what the elect are trying to do. Because then when that happens, it's over. Corruption is done. All this shit is over with. Alright? The flesh is weak, man. Alright, so that's what the world's waiting for, the manifestation of the sons of God. Let me finish Daniel 7 and 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. So he changed the times, literally, by increasing it an hour. And he's changing the laws too. Changing the laws. He's always changing laws. All right. He's got some more laws to change. Who's doing all of that? That's Esau. All right. Daniel 7 and 25. It says, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and a times and the dividing of time. So a time and a time and the dividing of time. A time is 100 years. Times is 200 years, which is 300 years, and the dividing of time is 50 years. So that's 350 years, and it's referencing the time we came here on slave ships in 1969 to 1619 to 1969. Okay, that's the breakdown. That's. But we still in that time, so it ain't from that time. But the way the Lord looks at time is not the way we look at time. Okay, just like it told you, Esau shall be bound 1,000 years. We reference that to go back all the way to, the Byzantine Empire. But when Rome fell, the Eastern Roman Empire, or before the Western Roman Empire fell, Jake was getting in there since 91, 92 AD with Nerva. So that just goes to show you there was already a start. The way the Lord looks at it, you could pretty much say it was maybe 400 plus years, more than 1,000 years. Okay, from the time of when Jake got into power and they ruled in the Dark Ages. Esau don't talk about the Dark Ages because he has all that information that we rule. That's why you look at the coat of arms in Britain, it's the lion. Who's associated with the lion? That's Jake, that's Judah. So they're really sitting on all of our thrones throughout Europe, throughout the whole earth, even over here. In Russia, they're sitting on our thrones in Russia, everywhere. Germany. Okay, there's all of these. Jake was running everything. Well, Jake was everywhere. Then after World War II, there was a great ethnic cleansing. That's what they used the war for. That's why the so-called Chinese man look like a whole full-blown white boy right now. You look at the World War II, a lot of those Chinese people over there, they were dark-skinned. Esau bombed them to smithereens because he was cleansing the land. He wanted to he basically put that whiteness all over the place. And this is what World War III is about again. He's gonna try to ethnically cleanse everybody, but it ain't gonna work this time. All right. This is the time for Esau to go down. He got rolling for stone. What's that? Ecclesiasticus. Shall the stone fall upon, something like that? He that rolling for stone. Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 27 and 25. Ecclesiasticus 27 verse 25. Whoso casteth a stone on high, casteth it on his own head, and a deceitful stroke shall make wounds. Let me grab this. Let's see. This is what I'm looking for. I thought it was 11 something. I don't think there's Ecclesiasticus. What else is there? Oh, Proverbs 26 and 27. That's one of the Ecclesiasticus stuff. Let me grab some Proverbs. Proverbs 26 verse 27. On the New Testament. Proverbs 26, verse 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. So that's what's going to happen to Esau. He's going to try to roll a stone on us. I watch a lot of Looney Tunes, and I was watching Wile E. the Coyote. He was on the top of a hill. He was waiting for the what's his name? What's that damn bird's name? I can't think of his name, but you know, beep beep. He was running by, and he put a stone, and he dropped the stone. The stone went all the way down. And the stone came all the way down, about to hit the roadrunner, and it missed the roadrunner, and then it went up another hill, and it got flung all the way back and fell on his head. That's Esau. Okay. And the roadrunner, he even painted a wall, thought he was gonna run full speed and hit the wall, and the roadrunner went through the wall. Like he just continued running like it wasn't even a wall. So he backed up and tried to run into it, and then he got flattened. And so that's Esau showing you that wickedness, that's all righteous right there. It shows you that no matter what he does, he loses. All right. Sometimes you gotta make it a joke, but that's what it is. You know, you go Bugs Bunny, for example, man. Elmer Fudd, he can't mess with him. That's Esau. Esau's too damn stupid. No matter what he does. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. Am I done? Yep. Daniel chapter 2, verse number in verse number 22. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. I believe this is talking about the Lord. I thank thee and praise thee, O thou God of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me now what we desired of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. Because it's going back to Nebuchadnezzar's dream. So Daniel was praying to Yahweh, saying, thank you for giving me this interpretation. Because he was going to slay everybody, including us. Hey, Shalom, King. Shalom. Hey, you need to repent, man. I know who you are. No, I'm talking about that new covenant bullshit. You repented? All right, keep it moving, brother. I got you. You're blocking the traffic. It's a green light. Are you still a new covenant Israelite? Huh? Okay, good. Good. All right, man. Shalom, shalom. All right, good. All right, shalom, shalom. That's right. That's right. I know he was like a new covenant Israelite. I forgot that dude's name. One of those new covenant Israelites. He said he repented. He said he repented. So who am I to say you ain't repented? It's not good to just tell your brother that if he's going off, and you gotta rebuke him, man. You gotta rebuke him. You know? But as long as he's still look like he's doing all right. But you gotta rebuke your brother, man. This ain't the time to be talking about being the new covenant. That was a long time ago. It was about a year ago since I seen him. But we have a group out here that was into that. You know, we would go into Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, go into Jeremiah, just going all these precepts, and even another one from the same group. He popped up on me one day. I didn't know who he was. He just was, you know, he just came broke bread. But then I found out he was a new covenant Israelite. But I think he was he's a young man. He's a young man. You know, but he was basically saying that he told me that you know, a lot of people he didn't like how a lot of Israelites were moving in Boston, so he didn't feel comfortable around certain men. And that ain't nothing wrong with that. You ain't gotta like everybody, man. The Lord didn't tell you got everyone that says they're Israel, you're supposed to be buddy with them. That's not what it's about. It's about making your calling and election sure. If your spirit's telling you to get away, who am I to tell you not to leave? Keep it moving. You know, sometimes it's not about other brothers. Sometimes it could be yourself. You know? But hey, if the brother repented, he said he repented. Hey, shalom to that brother, man. May the Lord put blessings on him and he continue to fight the good fight of faith. He said he repented to Yahweh Shai. I'll condemn him for that. Daniel chapter 2 and verse. Where did I go? Verse 24. Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. So Arioch was going around to destroy the wise men of Babylon. Just with the wisdom of Daniel, he just pretty much you ain't supposed to listen to nobody. You're supposed to just execute the decree. He decreed to kill them all, and now he's bringing Daniel over there. Gave him time to go talk to his Lord, and that's what happened. That's how you know, first of all, that it's the Lord that does all these things, man. Let me grab this. In the book of Proverbs, I can't find it. When a man's ways please the Lord, it make even his enemies to be at peace with him. KJV. I pretty much just quoted it, but I want to know where it's at. Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. And Arioch is an enemy. He's a Babylonian. He got him in captivity. He's decreed to go around and put all the wise men to death. But yet now he's bringing Daniel to the king so he can interpret his dream. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 24 in the middle. Bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste. He said he brought him in before the king in haste, and said thus unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah that will make known unto the king the interpretation. So, okay, I have found a man of the captives of Judah. You know, that's a strong statement coming from a heathen. You know, Esau will call you a whole damn boy. This nigga's a boy. Because what makes you a man is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know? So Arioch knows that, man. That's how you know it's super spiritual. Daniel was highly respected, man. Sometimes you don't know how other people look at you, but then, you know, you read about our forefathers, man, in captivity. If you picture Daniel with a little small hat on his head and he's all nice, and don't kill me. I went to sleep and I talked to Hashem. Hashem told me to, this is the interpreter. Just bring me to your king, please. All frail, and that's not what it is, man. All right. Daniel was from the tribe of Judah, man. I'm from the tribe of Judah. Other men like that, dark-skinned man in captivity, like we're in captivity today. All right. Believed in the Lord, not like you Christians. Our forefathers are nothing like you. You would have teamed up with the Babylonians to go around. You would have teamed up with the Romans. You niggas barely go to the Roman Catholic Church. And you talking about you love the Lord. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's why you love the Lord so much. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Keep loading up those guns. You ain't even got the mindset of an Israelite, man. The Lord don't want us doing nothing. He's getting all the glory. You picking up arms. Like Jake Lang in fucking New York yesterday, someone threw an IED at some Muslim dude threw an IED at his ass oh man, that shit is funny as hell, man. He claims to be a Christian. He go around waving the American flag. He was bringing pork to Ma'am Donnie's house. And the Muslim dude he had some shit wrapped up in some plastic with some nails. And then he grabbed it from his man and tried to light it. And then it didn't explode. He got arrested. Him and 6 people got arrested inside. That's some bugged out shit. But when Jacob's trouble comes, you're gonna see a lot of shit like that, man. These people know how to make that shit, man. You know? So it's gonna be a lot of shit going on, man. Daniel chapter 2, verse number 26. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name it was Belteshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof? Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king saith demanded cannot the wise man, am I reading that wrong? The secret which the king have demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto thee, the king? But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar that shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the vision of thy head upon thy bed are these. So there it is. He's giving Nebuchadnezzar a vision of the latter days. But he gave the interpretation of the vision to Daniel. The Lord's terrible, man. The Lord's just terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the vision. I ain't gonna let you know what it is. I'm not gonna put it into your wise men and astrologers. I'm gonna give it to my son over here, Daniel, just so I can set him up on high. So he's really exalting Daniel. And what did he do? He prayed 3 times a day. You know, he loved the Heavenly Father. Okay. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 29. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed. What should come to pass hereafter? And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation of the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. So Daniel is humble. You understand, he's given all power to Yahweh. You know, this is all of him. Him giving you the dream, him giving me the interpretation. You know, he's just being humble about it. That's why, you know, knowledge puffs you up, man. That's why it's good that he said it that way in acknowledging the Heavenly Father first. That it's no power of his own. You know, it's not good to be puffed up in this thing. A lot of people think it's somebody, man. None of you are nobodies, man. Everybody's a nobody. Just like the Lord. He came down here, made himself no reputation. You know, so all the accolades and shit, you can keep all of that, man. And you want to be, if Yahweh Shai is the example, try to make yourself of no reputation and see how that goes for you. Try doing that. Daniel chapter 2 and verse number 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. So Daniel's describing Yahweh Shai destroying all these kingdoms. Okay, well, the feet, we're in the feet right now of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. And the stone's gonna smite the feet. That's why it says, we tell you that the feet is the end of the thing, because if you smite the feet, the whole thing's gonna fall down. And that stone that's gonna do that is Yahweh Shai. Okay? But the image, the brass, the iron, the gold is talking about the Babylonians, or the Assyrian Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and then the legs going to the Romans, and now we in the second leg, which is the second Roman Empire, all the way in the feet. We at the end of it, the end of the second Roman Empire. All right, so we're at the end. This is what he's describing. But Daniel didn't know all of this. You know, this is to be interpreted later. Okay, it tells you in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter. Let's grab that real quick. Was it Daniel 9? I think it's Daniel 12. Daniel chapter 12. In verse number 13. It says, but go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. So that's talking about Daniel. Go thy way to the end be. So he's going to be back in his lot today, doing what we're doing now, which is prophesying. So wherever, we don't know who Daniel is, but through the Spirit, he's doing the work of the Lord. All right. That doesn't necessarily mean he's with any particular group, but he definitely got the doctrine of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's 100% right there. Because the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. He can be in Nigeria somewhere right now, teaching the word. Who knows? He could be probably here in Babylon with the rest of the prophets. The Lord raised up his men in these last days. Let me grab that 1 Corinthians. Tells you I said the apostles last. No, that's not 9. I think it's raise up the apostles last. I'm thinking 4. And maybe 1 Corinthians 4, I think. And where is that precept? I forgot where it's at. I gotta look it up. He raised up the apostles last. The Lord raised up the apostles last. Corinthians, KJV. 1 Corinthians 4. It's there. I can't find it. Okay, 1 Corinthians 4, verse 9. For I think that God hath set forth us, the apostles last, as it were appointed to death, For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. So he waited for the last days to raise up his apostles. Okay, starting with the apostles and elders on down from the great millstone, and wherever they're at. Okay, if they got this truth, you know, then and they're speaking it 100%, or to the best of their ability, I should say, building themselves up. It's not an overnight thing, man. There's a transformation. There's a process you got to go through. It's not you know, you snap your fingers and you know every single precept. You got to put in the work. It's you know, you got to spend days, nights. You got to be fully given over to this truth. There's a lot to digest in this Bible, man. It's not something that you can just sit down and you know, have Bible study on Tuesday and think you're good, man. Every day is Bible study day. So he raised up his apostles. Last apostle means to be sent forth. Okay, so if you got the power and authority, that comes from the Lord if he got you out there teaching the truth. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 35. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Going into 2nd Esdras 13th chapter. He's going to fill the whole earth. It tells you in the book of Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, that Isaiah, I'm going on. Hold on. Oh, I'm doing good. Isaiah chapter 2, and verse number 11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. Yeah, so the Lord alone is going to be exalted in that day. Everyone's going to have their eyes on the Lord. The haughtiness of men, you know, just going into your pride. You start thinking about yourself, man. Those days are over. When the Lord returns, you ain't gonna be thinking about yourself. You're gonna be like, what the hell is that in the sky? What is that? And that's gonna be the Lord. Revelation 1 verse 7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. So, and also which pierced him. You know, so the Roman centurion that pierced our Lord, he gonna be down here in the earth, in the regeneration. So he's coming at a perfect time with all these spirits, the elect are out here, the elect that he's gonna redeem. He got the spirits that he's gonna destroy. And you know they're in high positions. Like I said, let's see what position Daniel Kane is. This dude's Daniel Kane, man. He's like the U.S. military general or some shit like that. Who is Daniel Kane? Raising Kane is an American general and venture capitalist who became the 22nd chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in 2025. You only get high positions like that. The Lord ordains you to be in these places. So he got everyone strategically where he wants them to be. Daniel chapter 2 and verse number 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For the God of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power and strength and glory. Yeah, the God of heaven have given thee a kingdom. Okay, just like the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, the Lord has power over all these things. We grab this in the book of Psalms, chapter 24. Verse 1, it says, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, everything in it. All right. So he's given this king, he gave him a kingdom. That kingdom's done and over with. Okay. Just like the Persians too. The Persians still got their little kingdom, but it wasn't what, compared to what they had 120 provinces. They don't have that now. Even though Iran's pretty damn big, it's like a third of the United States. That's a big ass country, man. It's the book of Daniel chapter 2, verse 37. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven have he given into thine hand, and have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. So he's telling them the dream. Because we're right, that thou art that this head of gold. So Daniel was in the head of gold. He was in that kingdom, the Babylonian captivity. He was captive to the Babylonians. Right? And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. So there's these other kingdoms what came after Babylon is the Persians and the Medes. Right? It tells you in Daniel the 5th chapter, when the Persians and the Medes came in, took over Belshazzar. He was partying and doing all that bull crap. But that's how they got taken out. But Babylon wasn't destroyed by by fire. It was a surgical strike. So it tells you that Babylon's going to be destroyed by fire. Okay? It says, shoot at her. Jeremiah 50:14. All those that bend the bow. So that's talking about the different nations that have thermal capability. All right? That's going to shoot at Babylon. Daniel chapter 2, and that's, you know, the Lord's going to come and redeem his elect, but they're going to scarcely be saved. So during that time when people, they know the nukes have been launched, that period when you know it's all over and done, that's he's going to save his elect. All right, in a miraculous, so you're going to be all types of confusion, man. You're going to see big ass chariot ships. You're going to be hearing all different types of chaos in the world. And then you're going to see the manifestation of the sons of God right before your eyes. Then you're going to be destroyed. Leveled. Everyone that's over here, everyone's hiding in a bunker. Everyone that's stored up food and put it in his cellar somewhere, the secret cellar. All of that's going to be destroyed. Daniel chapter 2, in verse 40, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise, talking about the Roman Empire. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. Now it's talking about right now, just like then, these different alliances with Esau or America and the European Union and NATO, you're seeing that they're not fully aligned. They're dissimilar metals. Iron and clay don't mix. And that's why we're starting to see the where they don't mix at. Especially when it comes to Iran. You see what they're about to do with Turkey. Turkey is part of the NATO alliance. Or the European, what is it? I think they're part of NATO and Europe. Let's find out. We're double check. Is Turkey a part of Europe and NATO? Yes. Turkey officially is a key member of NATO and is geographically and politically considered part of Europe. It joined NATO in 1952. Possesses the alliance's second largest military and spans both Europe and Asia with a portion of its territory in the Balkan Peninsula. Turkey is also the EU candidate country, so Israel's talking shit about them, saying they're a threat. You know, America backs Israel with everything they do. They're talking shit about Turkey. Because Turkey don't want them Kurds. The duck keeps putting pressure on the Kurds to go do a land invasion in Iran. But Turkey don't like the Kurds because they label them a terrorist organization. So if you're going to be arming one of their enemies, he got concerns about that. And then what's going on in Syria and in Lebanon, which is getting closer and closer going north, he don't want that shit coming to his border. So as we can see, America's Israel's bitch. So they're going to do whatever Israel says. So if they go to war with Turkey, that can start off Article 5, where these other European nations have to defend Turkey because it's part of NATO or EU. But it could be a dissolution. Let's look at this word dissolution between Turkey and NATO. Define dissolution. A closing down or dismissal of an assembly, partnership, or official body. So a closing down of that would be to depart from it. All right. So going back to the iron and the miry clay, man, it's not really, the Lord has it like that for a specific reason. Especially with the gas prices. I think Europe they're fucked when it comes to the oil now. They rely on that oil in the Strait of Hormuz, so they're gonna have to make some decisions. And the decision is gonna be Revelation, the 17th chapter. They're gonna work together to bomb this place. So that's Esau's future. So if you ain't prepared for that, you probably ain't prepared for the famine that's coming. You probably ain't prepared for your gas prices to affect your whole economy. The wars that are gonna be going on in the near future. How it's not gonna be safe here if you ain't got the Lord with you. And Isaiah 4:1 is about to kick off too. A bunch of beautiful ladies just walked by. Alright, they're gonna be looking for men of the Lord in these last days. Gorgeous, beautiful. Alright? They don't know what's going on, but they will when this shit starts to hit the fan. Alright? They turn the head down, but they're gonna know. Daniel chapter 2 in verse 41, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided.
Yeah, my brother.
How you doing, my man? You too. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with the miry clay. So Daniel's explaining all this to him. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And they're not cleaving one to another. They're mingling. Okay? And that's what you're seeing. They're not really fucking with each other. They're fucking with these other damn nations. Spain pretty much said, I ain't fucking with y'all. All right? UK said he wasn't going to enter into the war. But I think he has to now. Let me find out what the kid's going to say. I forgot about that. Is the UK deciding to go to war with Iran? Here's some news. As of March 2026, UK government under Prime Minister Starmer has decided not to join the US and Israel in direct offensive military action against Iran, aiming instead for a limited defensive role to protect regional interests while allowing the use of British bases for targeted defensive strikes. The UK is not participating in a wider war, so the British bases for targeted defensive strikes. So he's allowing them to use British bases for targeted defensive strikes, okay? I don't know if how Iran's gonna look at that. Who knows? They might consider that a threat. He just told those other neighboring countries that he wouldn't bomb them unless they bomb him first. You know, because, you know, after he bombed all of them, you saw that he hit all Qatar, 15 different nations. They couldn't defend against him. And what did the duck do? Did he set up THAAD systems to go protect the Arabians? He don't give a fuck about y'all, man. And that's what they realizing. This nigga don't even give a fuck about us, man. We letting him park his fucking cars and shit over here, making us a target But then when these drones come, he ain't spending any money to make sure we're protected. So that's why the dragons of Arabia are gonna come together. All right. And can you blame them? The Kurds keep fighting. I wouldn't be surprised if he stopped bombing the Kurds. And then another nation say, hey, listen, you start fighting against the Kurds, or the Kurds might switch on him. He might start bombing them, killing them. Because they're not agreeing to go boots on the ground. Now, he didn't fully agree to put boots on the ground with you Americans, but that's what he's going to do. None of y'all thinking about going to war. You going to war. Oh, yeah, you going to war. Definitely, there's going to be a draft. You're going to be crying and kicking. He's still going to bring you over there. Just so you can get dashed into pieces to fulfill prophecy. Because y'all ain't cleaving to the Lord, so hey, the Lord can use you to put you in the fire. You don't want to serve the Lord? Kiss your mama, your kids, all of them. See, say, love you, I got to go fight for this country. You're going to die over there. It tells you there's going to be a great stink. And his stink shall come up because all the carcasses that are going to be over there. His people are going to be destroyed. That's why the president of Iran is saying, yeah, bring your troops over here. No ceasefire. Bring them over here. I didn't even get into the article. Day 9, we'll see what he's doing today. Israel and Iran bombing the shit, bombing them to smithereens. We'll see. But from what I heard, Exif said they got plenty of ammunition. So that's what he said on 60 Minutes. He said he ain't worried about Russia. He ain't worried about nothing. He got a lot of ammunition. And I would like to believe it, but this is Esau we're talking about. He's greedy. You got trillions of dollars, and you also have a treaty with Israel to give them a bunch of your weapons and shit so they can defend themselves. So I'm sure a lot of that money went to them. All that defense and shit. They asking for THAAD systems from South Korea. So you just spent the biggest military bill for the whole year, but you gotta ask Zelensky to come and help you with drone strikes. You gotta ask South Korea can I use your THAAD system, please? Foolishness. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So this is not the kingdom that the Lord Daniel was talking about. This kingdom's going to last forever. It should stand forever. No, this kingdom got an end date. We're going on the 250th anniversary this July. All right? And that's the average that a kingdom lasts. All right? And it's going to be nice and warm. You got the Potomac River smelling like shit. So when all this ice gets all melted and stuff, you're going to smell it. It's going to smell like shit in Washington, D.C. because of the Potomac River. So go out there and celebrate. You have a good time. That's the smell that's going to go in the ballroom. Ooh. It's going to smell like low tide and shit. But that's how Esau was anyways. He was a filthy motherfucker during the Roman Empire. They didn't wash their ass. Europeans were nasty. They used to just shit, not wipe their ass, spray some perfume on them. That's what the ballroom's going to smell like. The whole West Wing to get a bunch of nasty motherfuckers going there, party and dance with each other. Daniel chapter 2. So the only kingdom that's going to stand forever is the kingdom of heaven, which belongs to the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man. Daniel, the whole nation of Israel, I should say. It's Yahweh Shai's kingdom, I should say, first. He's the one who did the most, man. All right? For a nation, nobody gave a fuck about the nation of Israel. The only one that cared was Yahweh Shai. And he proved it by dying for the whole nation. Nobody gives a fuck about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans except for your Lord, man. And the men that are out here teaching this word, that's it. That's all you got. Other than that, you're a forsaken people. And if you don't return to the Lord, you're going to die. Simple as that. You don't want to be a part of the mightiest nation in the world. Go be with these damn pedophiles that are going to get burned up. Go be with the damn homosexuals and all that. Go be with those nations. We don't want you. We'll see you in the kingdom. You're going to die over here, and then probably one of our sons. All right? You want to be with the mightiest nation? We don't need you. Keep it. Stay here. Don't serve the Lord. Be disobedient, but don't be lukewarm with it. Go 100%, man. Go get a record deal, man. Tell them you'll drink goat's blood and all that shit. Go do it all. Don't be in the middle. Daniel chapter 2 in verse 45, for as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. So the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. So he's telling you all these different kingdoms are going to be destroyed, all the way to the point where Yahweh Shai smacks the toes. Now he don't know, he's just explaining it to him. Okay, to the best of his ability. But you notice he ain't saying this is Rome. He ain't saying that they're going to call that Greece. You know, the EU and the NATO. He's not saying all of that. Okay. And even Nebuchadnezzar does it, but through the Spirit, he understands that these are different kingdoms that are going to be set up after him. So, and he knew that was the case. So even him to take that, but you read Daniel the 4th chapter, Nebuchadnezzar believed in Yahweh. Okay, he when he got that judgment, he fully believed. That's why when y'all get the judgment of the Lord, that's when y'all are going to believe in the Lord too. You stupid ass heathen that are out there that look down on the nation of Israel. That's good that you look down, you talk shit, you laugh at the monkey jokes and all that. That's good. Because we look like the Lord. So you're really disrespecting our Lord. And he got something for your ass, man. Alright? We got fire, we're going to burn you up. We're going to hurt you in the kingdom. That's the best part about it. That's the best part about it, man. We're going to be a terror to you other nations out there. Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, Edom, all of you. All right? All of you, man. We're going to be a terror unto you. Then you'll see all the shit you talking in. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse 46. And we can see that the interpretation is short. Babylon's still here. You can go to Iraq right now. That's ancient Babylon. So if you're worried about that being destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, they're not pushing wickedness through the four corners of the earth. King David tells you in Psalms 137 that the daughter of Babylon who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that dashes your kids against the stone. He's talking about Esau. So he points you out. He's telling you, you're the king. He knew who the ancient Babylonians, the modern day Babylonians, or mystery Babylon. King David knew all that information. How did he know that? Because he was a prophet too. Okay, that's prophecy. Daniel chapter 2, and verse 46. Then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. That's what y'all even gonna do when we get in the kingdom. You're gonna be worshiping. You're gonna be bowing your head to us like you in the midst of the heavenly Father, or Yahweh Shai himself. All right, because we're gonna be like gods unto you. We're gonna treat you the same way you listen. You get in every. Listen, man. God's gonna do what a God got to do. Okay. A God got to do what a God has to do. So if we don't think you fully repentive, we're gonna put curses on you. Okay. I don't think you repented, man. I'm gonna have to afflict you, man. I'm gonna give you to plague your mind, man. I'm gonna have to hurt your body. This is the things we're gonna do to you. Because we're going to know everything about you, just like the Lord knows our inner thoughts and all of that. We're going to know the same thing with you. You ain't gonna be able to hide from us. Nothing. You might sit there and be like, okay, all right. You're gonna be praying to us. Please take this headache away from me. We're gonna be putting Satan on you, make you go off, and then we're gonna punish you. We're gonna be doing all these types of things. We're gonna have power over the spirits. All right? That's what we're gonna be doing to y'all. Only to get y'all right, depending on who you are. Everybody's different. All right? That's how you're gonna be blessed, and that's how you're gonna be cursed through the nation of Israel. So this is a foreshadowing of heathen, different kings worshiping Yasharallah. Daniel chapter 2 and verse number 47. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. So it was undeniable. It's undeniable. Babylonians had a bunch of different gods. He had those soothsayers and astrologers and magicians. He had the Chaldeans. He had wise men. They probably did a lot of things. So they were able to do all types of shit. You know, he was able to win battles. Who did he go to? He went to his wise men and stuff. And when he won, that showed you that he had some form of knowledge. But he couldn't deny the fact that the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And that's what y'all gonna know when we get into the kingdom, because we're gonna be operating under the law. Wickedness ain't gonna be multiplied like when Esau's in power. That's coming to an end. You go off, you're gonna be publicly executed. So by your own peers. I was watching this dude Rodriguez, he got shot last year. Then I went home, I'm watching the news. He's driving through a checkpoint. And he looked kind of drunk. They said he had an open bottle. And then they said he tried to run him over. But the scene that they showed, they're trying to run him over. But his brake lights are on when the dude starts shooting. The dude's brake lights are on when he starts shooting. So that just goes to show you. And guess what? The jury said he's justified. You know who's in that jury? A bunch of Edomites. Anytime they see a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American get killed, it's justified in their eyes. Okay? So you need to understand that. This is why you need to come serve the Lord. You're not going to get any justice over here, man. Just stop thinking about justice and shit. The only justice you get is when the Lord returns and puts all these damn people to death. And he lets you watch. That's where your justice is going to come from the Lord. Some brother had a beautiful... Oh man, I want this image. It's Yahweh Shai pulling brothers out of the fire. He's in a chariot, but as you come into the chariot, it's like he's pulling you out of a fire. Oh man, as a matter of fact, I took a quick picture of it. But it was, I don't know that. This is a beautiful image right here, man. Beautiful image right there. I thought that's gorgeous, man. I can't wait till we get out, man. We getting the fuck up out of here. Daniel chapter 2 in verse 48. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and chief of the governors over all the wise men. Over all the wise men of Babylon. Oh man, that's funny. Daniel chapter 2 verse 49. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over all the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king, so he even put his bands on. Shadrach, they were all up there, huh? Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, over the affairs. That's in our captivity. Just like he did with Joseph, he was in captivity. He was second in charge. Daniel captivity, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We didn't even get when he goes in the fiery furnace the next chapter. So they got exalted before he set up the fiery furnace. So they didn't have the mindset of being in Babylon, man. They were up way higher than us, man, in Babylon. And they were still ready to die for the Lord. So that's the type of mindset we gotta have. And you can't be a spirit. Those are we're descendants of them. There's no spiritual. Nah, man. Don't work like that. Don't work like that. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we're descendants of them, man. You can't just. Esau's always trying to slither he's a snake. I'm just gonna say I'm an Israelite. You can say it if you want, but it's your actions, that show that you're not. You don't. Your spirit don't resonate with this word. That's why you're saying you're a spiritual Israelite, because you're not doing the work. You look at someone that talks like that. He ain't got no channel. He ain't got nobody. He ain't making his body a living sacrifice. He's just coming up with any man of the Lord. He just try to come up against them. That's the spiritual Israelite. But a real Israelite, he's gonna be doing the work. He's gonna be making his call and election sure, because his spirit bears witness with the spirit of his book. He's gonna make his calling and election sure. So he's gonna trust in the name. He's gonna do the works. He's gonna keep the commandments. He's gonna get the victory. You heathen ain't getting no damn victory, man. You're gonna get chipped up, just like those dogs and those cats that got RFID microchips in it. You're gonna get that same thing that your cat got. So Esau can scan you to make sure he can number you. All right, you ain't gonna get the victory. You're gonna be destroyed. You don't trust in the Lord. You believe in Jesus Christ. Jesus loves the world. So if you love the world, you got to take that chip. All right? Well, I'm ending here. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rechak Wadash, Shalom, Abad Babal, and Kwam Yasharala.